Hey there. Today, I want to talk about a moment in therapy for me that changed the way that I saw myself. And honestly, it changed the direction of my healing. In one of my earliest sessions, my therapist and I were talking about my cheating and my porn use. And in the middle of that session and in that conversation, he said something that I'll never forget. He said to me, he said, if your wife were enough, you wouldn't have cheated. He said, if your kids were enough, you wouldn't have cheated. He said, if your God were enough, you wouldn't have cheated. And immediately I felt like this surge of defensiveness and I wanted to push back because here's the deal. My wife was enough and my kids were enough and my faith mattered deeply to me. And so I said, that's not true. I don't remember if I actually said that, but that's something that at least I felt and I meant it. But then it hit me. So what he wasn't saying was they weren't enough. He was showing me that nothing, no matter how good or meaningful, could fill that hole that was inside of me. Because the real problem was that I didn't know how to be satisfied. That somewhere deep inside of me, I believed that nothing would ever be enough. And just beneath that belief that I wasn't enough either. So we're going to talk about that today of what is this enough, not enough concept all about. So we're going to jump into it. Welcome to Beyond the Facade podcast. I'm your host, Luke Gordon, and I'm thrilled to have you join me in this space today. What we're going to be doing is diving deep into the trials and triumphs and truths of seeking authenticity. Becoming your true self isn't about a single action or moment. It's a relentless pursuit, a commitment to self that reveals the rich connection and meaning that our life has to offer. So whether this is your first time tuning in or you're a regular listener, know this: what you're building here goes beyond a conversation. You're here to challenge, to change, and to celebrate the incredible journey of becoming your authentic self. Because when you dare to show up fully, the rewards are immeasurable. So welcome to Beyond the Facade. Let's get started. Let's talk about this myth of enough. So let's start with this idea. So many of us carry this unspoken belief that if things were just right, that we wouldn't struggle. Let me give you some examples of this. If my relationship was stronger, if my partner didn't have so many walls up, or if my family were more supportive, or if I was closer to God. But here's the truth. Even if that were perfectly in place, you might still sense and feel that there was disconnection and craving or emptiness. Because this isn't about what's happening around you, it's about what happens within you. When we don't know how to feel satisfied and we're always looking to feel satisfied, we're always looking for something, we're always grasping for more, it's not because people in our lives are falling short, but it's because we come to rely on something that's outside of ourselves to fix that, what's broken inside of us. We're always going external for something that's supposed to be internal. Addiction or compulsive behavior works like that. Compulsive behavior works like it kind of whispers to us, this next thing will be what makes you feel whole, what makes you feel better, but it never delivers. Like at the end of the day, it feels temporarily satisfying and temporarily like the answer. But because you can't fill a bottomless pit with more, you have to repair that hole at the foundation. So we have to be ready to fill that hole. I'm just going to invite you to look at that. Okay, so what hole exists for you? Are you even aware that it is? Are you aware of what you're trying to fill it with, or why you're trying to fill it with that? That's a lot of like phase one work in recovery, which is what's the root cause? What hole am I trying to fill? So let's take a look at part two, this not enough wound. And this isn't just about feeling like unsatisfied in life. We can actually feel a deep sense of satisfaction around certain things, but it's way deeper. And it's about you. It's about the belief that you're not enough, just the way that you are. And because of that belief, nothing else ever feels like enough either. So it's that constant need to find something, but it really exists inside of us. A lot of people, that belief starts really early. So maybe there was some growing up in your home, your family of origin, where love had to be earned, or I had to go chase that. And once I did the certain thing right, that there was this acceptance that was given. Maybe if I was righteous enough, if I had the right kind of grades, if I did well enough in sports, if I wore the right kind of clothes, where success was praised, but at the end of the day, your emotions were ignored. All right. So there was behavior that was praised, but the emotions behind them didn't have space by anybody else. This is where shame was used as like motivation. We have to be really, really, really careful how we use our own feelings to motivate other people. So maybe a parent said to you, like, I'm really proud of you because you did this. And we tied our worth to it if it was about the behavior. Or maybe you were never outright told you weren't enough, but you felt it in all the little ways. Like people didn't see you, they didn't hear you, didn't show up for you. I'm not inviting you to weaponize that if you didn't get that. So if you're taking from this like a victim mindset, don't do that. But I want to acknowledge what actually happened. What you learned from this experience is, okay, I need to be better. And if I am, I do need to hide in ways that I'm broken because ultimately that's going to show that I'm not worthy and I'm not going to be acceptable. And I have to prove that I'm worthy. So let me get really good at showing people what makes me worthy. Let me really start to notice what I can do and show people that makes the like I belong. So from there, there's this chase that begins where you might chase success or you might chase attention or sex or pornography or being the perfect partner or parent or friend. But no matter how far you run, it's like trying to fill a cup with a hole at the bottom. You keep pouring, but it never stays full. So this is why you can have people who love you and who respect you and support you, and it still feels like something's missing. It doesn't matter how much my partner praises me. It doesn't matter how much my boss praises me. It lasts moments or I don't even believe it to begin with. That's something that we fill that hole with. It's not more validation. Okay. So what we need to do is we need to search for healing. Let me give you this part 3. What does healing, the enoughness look like? Let's talk about that healing. Recovery, it's not just about behavior change. It's not just about stopping porn or ending an affair or managing impulses. It's about that transformation that happens. It's starting with the belief that you're not enough. So we really start to look foundationally. It's the beliefs. The beliefs are what keeps us trapped. It's not the behavior, but it's what we believe about ourselves. So what if I'm already enough right now in this moment? Wow. Can you think about that? What if I'm already enough in this moment right now, in this moment? You might be like, how can I believe that with the kind of choices I've made? This question doesn't require like an immediate answer. It's just an invitation for you to slow down and start noticing all the ways that you've been trying to earn love and safety and approval instead of receiving it. So here's what the healing journey can look like. Let me give you key aspects or bullet points in this, I guess I should say. The first thing we do is we tell the truth, even when it's hard. The second part of this is we let others see the parts of you that you've been hiding, especially in like those safe, supportive environments like therapy or recovery groups. The next piece of this is we sit with the discomfort. So instead of escaping it through numbing and scrolling and acting out, we give that space to sit with that discomfort. And then what we do is we learn to reparent that wounded parts of ourselves. So those parts of us that maybe didn't get that parenting done in the right way or at all, we offer compassion to those parts of us that were often criticized or felt like that there was a certain behavior or aspect of life that we had to meet to gain acceptance, where we offer that compassion to ourselves, still through accountability, still through not letting ourselves off the hook, but with compassion, that it is outside of behavior that where acceptance comes from. And then we're going to slowly, gently rewrite this story that says you're broken and you're unworthy and you're too far gone. I'm not saying this is easy. I just gave you, 5 bullet points to go off of, but I am saying it's possible. Over time, as you practice this stuff and you choose this presence over like this performance, the honesty over hiding, the connection part over the control, something's going to shift. Okay. Big things are going to shift slowly. It's going to be this big, big battleship that starts to turn, this ship that turns in a new direction. And you're going to start to feel like there's things inside you that are filled. And then this validation, this like acceptance, earning from going outside of yourself for acceptance it's not going to feel as important as it used to feel. And that's not going to be sudden change, but it's because you put in those pieces, those efforts over and over and over again. So here's the deal. If something in this episode hits close to home, I want to leave you with this. The problem was never that your partner wasn't enough, or your kids, or your God. I hated that when I heard it. But I recognized that there was truth behind that it was really about me. So it's that somewhere along the way, you came to believe that you weren't, but you were. You are. In this moment, you always have been enough. I appreciate you letting this sink into your heart, just noticing this. And if you're listening to this podcast alone, if you're trying to do this by yourself, stop. Stop trying to do it by yourself. Prove that you're worth it by going to and sharing your story, the parts of you that you don't like, sitting with that uncomfortableness, noticing what happens inside of you. And hopefully I get a chance to spend time with you inside of a group setting, inside of one-on-one. And then when I say we, I'm talking about those of us at Choose Recovery Services, because we've been in that hole before. We know what this looks like. So anyway, keep going. Don't stop. Keep fighting.
Hey friends, it's Hallie Roderick here, and I wanted to personally invite you to an incredible opportunity coming up this summer. From July 8th to 11th, Luke, Gordon, and I will be co-facilitating a Help Her Heal intensive for men in Spanish Fork, Utah. And if you're a man who's serious about rebuilding trust, creating emotional safety, and doing the deep work of repair after betrayal, this space is created specifically for you. This 4-day intensive is not a lecture series. It's a deeply experiential process designed to help you feel the shift, not just understand it intellectually. Together, we'll explore powerful tools and practices to help you develop real empathy, shame resiliency, and a clear understanding of betrayal trauma, so you can begin to show up as a safe, trustworthy partner again. You'll also have the opportunity to connect with other men who are on the same path, men also committed to growth, their integrity, doing the hard work and the beautiful work of relationship repair. So whether you're just beginning this process or you're well on your way, this intensive can be a powerful next step in your journey towards healing. So if you're ready to move forward, we'd love to have you join us. So to learn more or to reserve your spot, check out the show notes where you'll find a link to reach out to our office. So let's do this work together. Hope to see you in Utah.
Hey, thanks for joining us today. If this is something that you connected with, I'd love to meet with you more and talk about it. So what you can do is go to chooserecoveryservices.com or check the show notes. And there what we can do is set up a quick conversation to meet. Thanks so much for listening to Beyond the Facade, where we unmask the authentic self.